Thank you very much, Jonathan. Our second speaker of the opposition is Harman Tutt. Harman is a third-year undergraduate student reading history at Jesus College. They won the right to speak through open audition. Harman, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk. Before arriving at Cambridge, I spent many hours watching debates and dreaming of the chance to stand where I am right now and address this chamber. I'm grateful to share this moment with everyone here today. So, yeah. Just a bit about me. I'm an editor at Cambridge's most exciting, innovative, and cutting-edge magazine, Cambridge Market Insights. Any fans? So cutting-edge, in fact, that you probably haven't heard of it. With this prominent position under my belt, I've managed to pick up a thing or two about how the media industry operates, how information is disseminated, how power is imbued in writing. So yeah, listen to me. But first, let's shine a light on the elephant in the room, the archaic term of press, so often uncritically used that I believe its true definition has been lost on most of us today. A strange term, for one, in a world of tweets, think pieces, and infographics. The press refers to the form of media, disseminating news and information with the purpose of, importantly, informing citizens and holding leaders accountable. So, the press, fundamentally, is a democratic institution. I think it's important, in my speech here, to take control of the debate. We're not discussing the pros and cons of the press. We're not even talking about the freedom of expression. Let's discuss just how much power the press really possesses. Let's discuss this in the context of the press executing this power in the context of a democratic function. Does it perform this? Is it powerful in this regard? Short answer, at the moment, it's nothing. Nada. Zilch. If you're unconvinced, look at the BBC and The Guardian's coverage of the current debacle surrounding Nadeem Zahawi and little-known ex-Magic Circle lawyer named Dan Needle. For those not keeping up, Dan Needle, ex-head of tax at a Magic Circle law firm, began investigating the tax affairs of Conservative Party chairman Zahawi in July last year. At the time, Zahawi, businessman, was serving as Chancellor of the Exchequer. He's a leader by our own right. Needle raised questions over why shares from YouGov were held in Balshaw Investments. So, by the way, YouGov was founded by Zahawi. There's the connection. A Gibraltar-registered family trust. Needle estimated that about £3.7 million in tax should have been paid. This was an ongoing dispute between Needle and Zahawi. It started last year and a few months ago, and importantly, I guess reports recently suggest the settlement was more than £3.7 million of tax reported last week. The same figure Needle identified in July 2022, plus a 30% penalty and interest, all while he was being the most forgettable chancellor of all time. Now, why on earth have the press only started covering this bombshell of a story that crystallized this picture of conflict of interests and corruption? When Alistair Campbell, former Labour Director of Communications, questioned Nick Robinson about this, former political editor of the BBC, he replied that the BBC were waiting for an official statement from Nadeem Zahawi. It's a great tragedy that the press is far too weak in this country to not only cover a story about what the powerful do or say, but fail to challenge and hold the powerful to account by investigating what they say. Dan Needle was David against Goliath, while the press shriveled up in cowardice. Secondly, regarding political power, the press's influence here is questionable to say the least. It's important not to assume that people aren't smart enough to think or make political decisions by themselves and need hand-holding by the press to think through material. The press's job is to inform, not decide what the public believes and act upon. Take the Brexit referendum as a prime example of this, where, despite clear and obvious pressure from the main media outlets, Remain lost and Leave won, not because of what the press said, but what? Because of the role of data. No. Press outlets such as The Guardian, Financial Times, the Independent, Observer, and The Economist all publicly supported the Remain campaign. But these editors were not influencing events, but trying to work and guess the national wind. Which institution ultimately defined the fate of this Brexit referendum? Any guesses? Cambridge Analytica and the power of personal data. That's where power lies. They were the masterminds behind the Leave campaign. Campaign success, utilizing their expertise in data analysis and psychological profiling to create a highly effective and convincing message that resonated with the public. No. By tapping into the vast amounts of personal information available, they were able to craft tailored messages that spoke directly to the hearts and minds of specific groups of voters. In short, Cambridge Analytica's role in the Brexit referendum was nothing short of masterful, showcasing the true potential of data-driven tactics in shaping political discourse and swaying public opinion. No. In 2016, data was where power lay, not the press. Moving on, I'd like to discuss the second part of this motion, accountability, very clearly. Accountability is important, I guess, in ensuring all facts presented are correct. I accept that. The press in the UK operates in an environment that is among the most robust in terms of accountability. The Independent Press Standards Organisation is a regulatory body that oversees the conduct of press, and they have a wide range of powers to investigate and take action against publications that are found to have breached their code of conduct. Even a newspaper mentioned previously, The Sun. In 2019, The Sun newspaper was found to have breached the code of conduct for publishing an article that claimed the Labour Party had a secret hit list of MPs who were to be deselected. The IPSO upheld a complaint against The Sun and ordered them to publish a correction. Additionally, the UK government has also taken steps to hold the press accountable. The Leveson inquiry, which was set up in 2011 in response to the phone hacking scandal, made a number of recommendations for reforms to the press regulatory system. Some of these recommendations, such as the creation of an independent press regulator, have been implemented. No. The press is also held accountable through the legal system. The Defamation Act of 2013, which reformed the law of defamation in England and Wales, protecting freedom of expression, while also ensuring that individuals can seek redress if they've been defamed. For example, the Act introduced a serious harm threshold, which means that a claim for defamation can only be brought if the statement complained of has caused serious harm in the reputation of the individual. Sounds very boring stuff, but I kind of had to get through this because ultimately, this country in particular has a very strong and robust accountability system against the media. It's important to demonstrate that. No. It's important to check. Yeah. So, what do we do instead? So if we take this the propositions line forward, what should we do? Should we have more draconian measures to regulate the press? That'd be great. I mean, it would be a great thing if you want to slide towards the kind of authoritarian and censoring tendencies we see in China today. China's definition of state secrets is so ambiguous that it makes it easy for the Chinese state to suppress any material that the government deems to be detrimental to their political or economic interests. As it goes back and forth, testing the line, knowing they need press and freedom and the information it provides, but they're worried ultimately about the opening of the door to the type of freedoms that could lead to the regime's downfall. That was a Chinese Foreign Relations senior fellow, Elizabeth C., ultimately suggesting that the Chinese government is in a schizophrenic state. Wow, I can't say that word. Regarding media policy. To conclude, are we really going to walk along this dangerous tightrope in questioning the press's power? That's it.